Three real estate agents have lost their real estate license for discrimination. Today, we're looking at a more serious topic. Today, we're going to look at a case that's been ongoing for quite a while. It's almost 5 years now. This started in 2019 through an investigation that was done in the Northeast. And there's a lot of agents that were caught in this particular investigation. But here just recently, 3 agents have lost their real estate license for discrimination. So we're going to look at this particular situation. Now, we're also going to take this opportunity as an education opportunity. Now, I know this is a little bit more serious topic than we typically cover in this channel, but I think if we at least look at this from as an objective way as we possibly can and use this as an educational tool for us, I think there's going to be a lot of value in checking out this story. So let's dig into this. All right, so 3 Long Island agents lose licenses over Newsday discrimination expose. So this was, again, in 2019 is when this particular expose happened. So whenever it was investigated by Newsday, who had some undercover reporting. An undercover investigation by Newsday into the housing discrimination on Long Island has resulted in penalties for some brokers ensnared in the probe. The New York Department of State revoked licenses for 3 agents, suspended the licenses for 7, and fined 5 between $500 and $2,000. So essentially, 3 agents have lost their license, 7 of them have been suspended license, and 5 of them have been fined. So altogether, I know we don't do public math around here, but it's 15 agents there's been some sort of reprimand. There were a total of 36 agents named in the Newsday Long Island divided series. The outlet reported decisions are pending against 5 of them. So 15 have already received judgment per se. 5 more are on the way, while cases were dismissed against 4. So, man, I had no idea I was going to start doing a lot of math here. So 20, that's a total of 20, while cases are being dismissed against 4, so that equals 24. In 2 instances, the state dropped their case, that's 26, while the state didn't pursue discipline on 10 of them. It checks out, math checks out. That gets us to total of 36. All right, so was not expecting that one. All right, so here we go. This is where we start looking at some opportunities for us to learn from this obviously bad behavior, right? And I say obviously because some of this behavior that you're about to see is very egregious. Now, there's opportunities if you're a real estate agent and have been doing business for any amount of time. There's been times where you've been presented in a situation where, and maybe it wasn't as obvious. Maybe the client brings up something that you're a little bit thrown off by in terms of, hey, I want to be only with this type of race, or I can't be associated to these types of people. Where can I avoid? What area doesn't have this type of people, right? So that comes up. I'm not going to say frequently, but that comes up. That comes up. And again, if you've been working with clients for any extended period of time, you know that these questions have been asked of you. But let's go into some examples and see what we've got. Himanshoo, who worked for Century 21, was among the agents who lost their license. He offered opinions on a local school district and referred to the neighborhood as a mini United Nations. He was initially suspended 6 months before an appeal led to the revocation of his license. So what can we take away from this? Obviously, don't use mini United Nations, but it's clear, at least from my perspective, what Himanshoo was trying to provide was a diversity feel, right? So one, he made an opinion on the school district. So right then and there, you're already on thin ice. But then when you introduce an additional element, in this case would be race, you're looking at something that's a little bit more. You're already through the thin ice at that point, right? So I understand. I don't know anything about this particular agent. I also don't necessarily know too much about American Homes, obviously Century 21, yes, but I don't know about this particular franchise and the way that they've been trained. But if I'm looking at this as a peer, which I am, so I have my real estate license, and I look at it from the most charitable way possible, I believe by a joke like that, which some people are going to take it as a joke, some people are going to take it as very, very serious. I believe this is more meant to be as a joke, and also a lighthearted way to express, hey, It has every blend, right? It has it's diverse basically, right? So again, I'm just being super charitable here. You could take it to the other extreme, and in this case, the article has, and also by the fact that he is no longer has a real estate license, will let you know that it went pretty serious. So I think that that's something that your jokes may not always be seen. Again, I'm being very charitable here. I recognize that, but your jokes may not always land as intended. You're a real estate agent. You're not a comedian, is a better way of putting that. The other agents to have their license revoked by the state were Amita Abarca of Keller Williams and Anne Marie of Signature Premier Property. So it's not just one brokerage. They did this expose on multiple. So 36 agents, they expand. I read this somewhere else. I don't remember how many brokerages, so I'm not even going to comment, but there was obviously more than one brokerage. As you can see, we already have a Central 21, Keller Williams, and then we have this Premier Properties. All right, not every case resulted in discipline. Anna, let's see here, who worked at Signature Premier Properties, allegedly gave a white tester, so a white person, 18 listings in Plainview. This is an area up in that region, and Sayosette, and none in Huntington. So Anna gave a white person or a white tester 18 listings in Plano and Sayosette. I know nothing about these areas, so, and none in Huntington, but gave a Hispanic tester more than 60 listings in Huntington. So a white person gets nothing from Huntington, and then a Hispanic Hispanic person gets 60 listings for Huntington, a predominantly Hispanic area, and few in Plano and Sayosette. Her case was dismissed because investigators didn't provide evidence establishing the race of the testers and couldn't prove discriminatory intent. So taking that into account, this is a lesson that we can learn from here is clients will put you in situations like this. It happens frequently. Well, depends on how often you practice, but it does happen. It does happen where clients will ask you, hey, I would much rather be in an area that's predominantly X. So then it's up to you, right? So it's up to you how you respond. So it's an opportunity for you to really go ahead and decide what you're going to do ahead of time, so you're not blindsided by your client asking this. And worst case scenario, it's a tester that's doing an expose. So hopefully you're not being recorded on a hidden camera. Remax Beyond associate broker Joy Tuxson told a white tester that Wyandotte, again, I have no idea what these places are, a hamlet with predominantly I don't even know what a hamlet is, with a predominantly Black and Hispanic population, the area was a good place to buy crack. To buy your crack. Okay. So some of them were a bit more egregious, as you can see. Some of them were a little bit more direct. On this one, I'm not even going to take the charitable component into it. This is just something that you obviously don't want to ever say, period, point blank, whether it's your client or not. I understand everyone has a different sense of humor, but here we are. Her license was ultimately suspended until the completion of a fair housing course, but the discipline was connected to separate comments she made about schools. Okay, so this wasn't even the thing that got her from a discipline perspective. That might be just her humor. It's the separate comments that she made about the school. So again, anytime you're talking about schools, be careful. Send them to I think it's greaterschools.org or greatschools.org. I forget which one it is. For school information. Niche.com is also a really good resource to send people to, so they know the ISD. Also send them to the city website. So there you have greaterschools.org, you have niche.com, and then send them to the specific city that you're showing them, or the specific city that they're interested, and have them go and look up the independent school district to see whatever they're trying to look for. If they're looking for demographic information, if they're looking for test scores, if they're looking for X, Y, and Z, it's on them, right? Just give them the resources. Take your opinion out of it. Crime rates. Crime rates is another big one. Crime rates is something that you're going to just, again, send them very much those same, well, maybe not the greaterscores.org, but niche.com also has a really good one. The one that we use quite a bit is crime rates. I forget the website, crime rate something. Again, sending them the resource on what the actual stats are, and cities will actually publish this as well. I don't know if it's a requirement, but I do. I just completed a pros and cons series where I recorded 80 videos for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex of all the cities here, and just about every single one of them had a crimes department, or, well, obviously that's called the police, but crime stats. So again, it's not your responsibility to decipher what that means. It's not, offer opinion on that, because your clients, again, it's it's often not the agent that is actively going out and trying to discriminate, whether that's their intent or not. It's not the agents that are actively trying to get in trouble. Clients will ask questions, and in many cases, very innocent. It's like, hey, is this a safe area? Right? Well, how are you going to answer that? Having these resources in your buyer presentations and your seller presentations and all of the things that you have. So just be equipped with some resources that are going to help your clients at the end of the day. So again, this is something that the rest, let's see. Yeah, no, the rest is fine. Some of the things that, again, let's use this as an education tool. Some agents have lost their license for much less. Some agents have lost their license for much, much worse. So the one thing that I encourage you to do whenever you are, well, one, prepare yourself for questions like this. Whenever clients ask these types of touchy questions, be ready with the response and what you're going to be saying. Of course, don't offer information like this that is very compromising to your real estate license. It's not even a malice thing. You might be coming from, most of the time, 99% of the time, you're coming from a good place. You don't mean to offend. You don't mean to, you don't mean to discriminate. There's just some comments that just come out, whether it's a joke or not a joke. You're making these comments, and somebody can perceive it a little different. You don't know what their life experience has been, where you may make a very flippant comment and it really touches them in a personal place to where they feel attacked, right? So I'm not saying walk on eggshells, but in a way I'm saying walk on eggshells. just keep it professional. Again, you're not a comedian, you're a real estate professional. But let me know what you think. Do you believe these real estate agents should have lost their real estate license? What else would you like to have seen happen in this particular situation? Have you how are you going to respond to the questions I get asked, like the schools, the crime rate, all that other stuff? Like, is this area safe? That comes up quite a bit. So let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you on the next one.